the 3-2-1 drink, only at Uncle Julio's.
Good morning, America. Digging out from the nor'easter. The deadly storm dumping more than 2 feet of snow in some areas. This power line going up in flame. Hundreds of cars stranded on interstates. A college basketball team pushing their bus free. Travelers even camping out in Grand Central. Now, snow still falling. Nearly 1 million without power. And new concerns about another major storm on the way.
President Trump faces new questions in the Russia investigation. Was he crossing a legal line when he asked witnesses about their interviews with the special counsel? Was there a secret back channel between Putin and Trump right before the inauguration? And customers complaining their Amazon Echoes are randomly erupting in laughter. Now we have what Amazon says could be behind it and how to fix it.
And one-on-one with the new Bachelorette, Becca. Her message for Ari after that brutal breakup, being called one of the worst ever.
Were you upset at being essentially ambushed when you thought you were going to have a happy weekend with Ari?
The first interview only on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. Hope you're well this Thursday morning. If you are in the Northeast, it means you could be digging out from that storm. Let's look at Boston right now. Still coming down there. It's going to be a bit of a messy commute, but they're moving pretty well on that.
They are. But though hundreds are stranded on the highways and interstates overnight during the storm. Look at this. Northeastern's women's basketball team. Teamwork. Teamwork. Yes, they were able together to free their bus that was stuck there in Philly. They successfully got it out. Play in their conference tournament quarterfinals this afternoon. March Madness must go on.
All right, it certainly is mad out there. Hundreds of schools still closed across the Northeast. More than 3,000 flights canceled by this storm, and nearly 1 million are without power this morning.
We have full team coverage all across the storm zone this morning. We're going to start with ABC's Gio Benitez in one of the hardest hit areas, that is Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, George, good morning. Listen, behind me, this is one of 3 interstates where people were just stranded overnight. And this is why. Look at all of this snow just piled up here. There is so much of it that it's causing a nightmare in the Northeast. This morning, the Northeast reeling. In New Jersey and parts of New York, 28 inches of snow paralyzing the highways. 3 interstates completely shut down. We experienced it firsthand. It's just after 8 p.m. and we've been stuck in this traffic jam for the past 20 minutes. We haven't moved an inch. Nobody has. It's a total standstill. So clearly something has happened up there. This is how dangerous these roads are. So after about an hour stuck on the interstate, we've had to turn around, hoping to find another exit. We're actually going the wrong way. We're going south on the north side of the interstate. All along this stretch of Interstate 280, car after car spun out, dug in, or just plain stuck.
You've been stuck on here since 1 o'clock.
Hours later,
still stranded out here.
Even cops unable to avoid the icy trap.
We have to come out and respond to a lot of these vehicles that are stuck. And in this particular situation here on Sterling Mine Road, now my vehicle is stuck as well.
In Philadelphia, the Northeastern women's basketball team taking matters into their own hands, joining forces to push their bus out of the snow. Downed trees and downed power lines combining with wet snow to create hazardous conditions. In Pennsylvania, firefighters posting this video of a power line exploding. Trains also brought to a grinding halt, trapping passengers for hours. Grand Central Station in the heart of Manhattan turned into a hotel.
We've been stuck on the train, the 175, for over 2 hours.
In Ocean City, New Jersey, streets turned into rivers.
Squad 29, the Manchester Middle School, a 30-year-old female struck by lightning.
A middle school teacher on bus duty, lucky to be alive, with minor injuries after her umbrella was struck by lightning. But the storm also claimed one life. A woman in Suffern, New York, was killed by a falling tree. and back here live in Saddlebrook. I'm going to be very careful, but I really want to show you this, okay? All over the place. This is what we're finding now. You can probably see my feet slipping here. This is that black ice, so you have to be extremely careful because you have these temperatures that are just causing this, and it's just all over the place, so you've got to be careful on those roads, George.
You sure do. Okay, Gio, thanks very much.
And the storm left hundreds of thousands without power across the Northeast, many of them in Larchmont, New York, where some homes never got their lights back after last week's nor'easter. ABC's Lindsay Davis is there now. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. What a mess out here this morning. This damage is actually left over from last Friday's nor'easter. Take a look from the sky. You can tell just how extensive the problem is. Here you go. You have these massive trees that have knocked down power lines. This is one of those blocks where it was so extensive, so problematic that they never regained their power. Nearly 1 million customers in 11 states in the Northeast this morning are in the dark. People on this block were initially told they'd get their power back on by Friday. Now they're not so sure. Here's the problem. You have this heavy snow that's already toppling more trees, bringing down more power lines. There are areas to the north of us, like Putnam County. They have travel bans in effect this morning. They don't want cars on the road so that the utility crews can work more efficiently to get this power back on, Robin.
Bless those crews. All right, Lindsay, thank you.
All right, Robin, and the storm closing down hundreds of schools and leading to those messy commutes. So let's head straight out to ABC's Eva Pilgrim, who's in Boston, where that snow is still coming down very heavy. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Amy. It's a mess, and you can see the snow is still falling here in the Boston area, and the roads are a mess in some places. At times, it's been whiteout conditions near impossible to see. Just on our drive here this morning, we very quickly could see how slippery the roads are. We did see plows out. We actually just saw a plow train go through this area just moments ago, but with the snow still falling, it quickly recovers the road, making it slippery once again. Now on the neighborhood streets, it's a thicker, goopier mess because of all that snow and all the rain that happened last night before the snow. So people are being cautious. You'll notice watching these cars here behind me, they're going a little bit slow. You'll also notice they're a little bit more backed up this morning, people being careful on the roads, Amy.
Being careful, but still a lot of people on the roads heading to work. What about to school? Are they open or closed today in the Boston area?
A lot of the schools here are closed in the Boston area this morning, and that is because those neighborhood streets are still needing to be cleared off today, Amy.
All right, Eva Pilgrim, try and stay warm out there.
I know, and as we saw in Eva's report, yep, snow still falling in some places, and now another storm is on the way. Rob is tracking it. You can see from Amy's response. When is it going to end, Rob?
Yeah, well, they'll get a break soon, but you're right about another storm. We're kind of in an active pattern here, and this storm now is spinning in the Gulf of Maine, so more in the way of snow there. And she mentioned the heavy, wet snow, knocking down trees, blocking roads. It's just not good out there, and even parts of Vermont and New Hampshire still getting the heavy snow right now. And we'll get wind behind this, and temperatures will stay at least at night through the freezing mark. Here's our next system coming through the midsection Sunday morning, maybe some severe storms across the deep south. The question is, when this thing approaches the coastline, does it scoot right out to sea on Sunday, Monday, or does it make a turn towards the northeast? Either way, it will be a storm, one we'll be tracking closely over the weekend. Robin?
Winter is hanging on, not going anywhere anytime soon.
We're going to go to Washington now, and multiple new developments in the Russia investigation, including reports that President Trump is questioning key witnesses about their interviews with the special counsel, and new questions about a secret meeting before the inauguration that may have been used to set up a back channel between Trump and Putin. Our Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas is tracking all the latest. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. That's right. Overnight news breaking that the president may have been talking to witnesses about their conversations with the special counsel. And we're getting more evidence that Bob Mueller is still pursuing if there were any ties between Trump associates and Russians close to Putin.
Sources tell ABC News after former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus had appeared before the special counsel, President Trump was curious and wanted to know how the encounter had gone. During that conversation last December, Trump asked Priebus if the special counsel had been nice and if he had been treated fairly, according to a source familiar with what was said. The big question, should the president ever be talking to witnesses about their testimony? ABC News also confirming that the president pushed White House counsel Don McGahn to put out a statement denying a New York Times story that he had tried to enlist McGahn to help fire special counsel Mueller. McGahn, whose sources tell ABC News had been interviewed by the special counsel, never released that statement, which apparently would have been false. Priebus and McGahn's attorney declined to comment last night, and lawyers for the president did not respond to ABC News. But sources close to the president tell ABC News the conversations were innocent and took place after the witnesses testified. Meanwhile, ABC News is learning the special counsel is looking into whether this man, George Nader, a Lebanese-American businessman, helped facilitate a back-channel meeting in the Seychelles Islands between Trump associate and former Blackwater CEO Eric Prince and a Russian businessman just before President Trump's inauguration. According to the Washington Post, Nader, who had represented the United Arab Emirates, has told the special counsel he was part of the meeting there along with Prince.
In a closed session with the House Intelligence Committee last year, Congressman Adam Schiff asked Prince if he was part of any back-channel communications between the U.S. and Russia. According to a transcript, Prince responded no. Schiff telling ABC News in the statement last night he wants to bring Nader before the committee to get to the bottom of what happened, George.
Right, to see if he told the truth. Okay, Pierre, thanks very much. Robin?
And George, the White House also responding to that lawsuit filed by Stormy Daniels, the adult film star who claimed she had an affair with President Trump more than a decade ago. Her lawyers say the president must have known about the payout to keep her quiet. Our chief national correspondent Tom Yamas is here, has the latest for us. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. This is getting uglier by the day. We told you about that lawsuit earlier, and now throw in a restraining order. The back and forth keeping this right where the White House doesn't want it, in the headlines. This morning, new details about President Trump's legal fight with porn star Stormy Daniels. The president's longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen, obtaining a temporary restraining order against Daniels from an arbitrator, trying to silence her to not disclose confidential information about an alleged affair with the president.
Did your client, Stormy Daniels, have sex with President Trump?
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
No doubt in my mind.
The ruling connected to a non-disclosure agreement Daniels signed just days before the election. But now Daniels is suing the president, claiming that agreement is not binding because he never signed it.
There is a signature line for Mr. Trump on the agreement. He was obligated to sign it, and he never signed it. And it's really that simple.
Just 3 weeks ago, Cohen admitted to using his own money to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Daniels, but said in a statement neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction.
Michael Cohen has come out and said, listen, I paid her $130,000. This agreement was in place. Why are you guys fighting this?
Because Ms. Daniels wants to tell her side of the story, as well as what efforts have been made in an effort to intimidate her and coerce her into remaining silent.
The White House trying to push past this.
Look, the president has addressed these directly and made very well clear that none of these allegations are true. This case has already been won in arbitration.
But Daniels' attorney says that's not true, and the notion that President Trump didn't know about the $130,000 payment is absurd.
Any suggestion by Mr. Cohen, the White House, the president, or others that the president, Mr. Trump at the time, would not have been informed of something this significant in the waning days of the presidential election is ludicrous.
Now, this could all be a major gamble for Stormy Daniels. According to that non-disclosure agreement she signed, there is a clause that if she's found in breach, she would owe the president $1 million. The flip side, of course, if she wins, the NDA is tossed. She could probably sell her story for whatever price she wants.
We will see. Let's talk to Dan Abrams about this. Thank you, Tom. First of all, let's talk about this lawsuit. A risk, as Tom says, but what are her prospects for success?
It's never easy to nullify a contract. And in effect, she's got two arguments here. Number one, there was no contract. He didn't sign it, therefore there's nothing enforceable to discuss here. Number two, if there is a contract, first of all, they would argue Cohen violated it by admitting publicly there'd been a $130,000 payout, and as a result, the contract should be null and void. So interesting, creative legal argument. Not necessarily a winner, but not a frivolous case either.
Meantime, let's talk about what the president, these conversations he's having with people after they speak with Mueller. Not a problem because they come after, not a legal problem necessarily, but not a good idea.
Right, no. Any lawyer advises someone in this kind of situation, be careful not to be seen as talking to, most importantly, interfering with, most importantly, trying to sway witnesses who are testifying in connection with this sort of matter. Now, I don't think there's anything in this report which is a problem per se. The question becomes, has he had conversations with other prospective witnesses? And most importantly, how does it fit in with the possibility that he would ever sit down with Mueller
And it would
himself?
clearly be a problem if he were having conversations with people before they went and talked.
Oh, absolutely. That could be a real problem. Again, nothing in this report that indicates.
Meantime, also very clear that Robert Mueller is looking at collusion with Russia, the potential of collusion with Russia in many different avenues.
Right. This is about this Seychelles meeting. And look, if you think about the heart of the investigation right now that we know of being June 2016 to February 2017, this fits right into that key period. And the question becomes why? Why were they setting up these back channels with the Russians? This is not an investigation, I don't think, of some technical violation of the law with regard to the transition period.
Many more answers to come. Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Also at the White House, a looming announcement that could spark a trade war. Let's bring in our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, the president was set to formally impose tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum maybe as early as today, but now a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, White House sources are telling me that the signing that was supposed to happen today is now very much up in the air as this debate wages on. You know this, George. Allies around the world are outraged by this prospect, and the president saying that a trade war could be a good thing. The White House, in some concessions, is now willing to make some carve-outs for allies like Mexico and Canada. But the EU is livid about this, and our allies there are promising swift retaliation. Take a look at some of the products that American consumers could end up paying more for. Things like bourbon, peanut butter, cranberries, orange juice, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and Levi's jeans. Now, this is a complicated one. This is part of the reason that Chief Economic Advisor Gary Cohn quit last week. And, George, Republicans are outraged by this.
And it is unclear now when the formal announcement will be. Cecilia Vega, thanks very much.
All right, George, now to those new concerns about the Amazon Echo. A new report out says more than 47 million used smart devices in their homes. Well, now some customers are complaining their Alexas are randomly erupting into laughter. Amazon is now revealing what may be behind it. And who better to tell this story than TJ?
Really?
It's so creepy.
Okay, it's random. It's not because they were told good jokes.
No, that's right. Okay, but imagine, guys, you're at home, alone, completely empty house. It's pitch black. You're in bed, and then you hear this.
Ew.
Okay, that's what people are. It's creepy, right? If you're home alone and you know you're alone, you hear that, that could actually really terrify you, thinking somebody's in the house. So most people right now are having a little fun with this, with the tweets, of course. Someone saying, lying in bed, fall asleep when my Alexa starts letting out this creepy laugh. There's a good chance I get murdered tonight. Somebody else saying, hearing Amazon Echo late at night when I didn't expect it. Most momentarily frightening thing I have experienced. So no dangerous issue here. People are having a little fun for now.
Has Amazon figured out why it's happening?
Well, they think the phrase, they're being triggered by a phrase. If you say Alexa, okay, this thing is on, so let me know. Okay, wait a minute. It's getting confused. You say turn the lights off, and it's getting it mixed up and start laughing. But a lot of people saying it's happening randomly when they're not giving it a command
They're saying
at all.
it's completely silent, and all of a sudden, like they're asleep, and they hear
Completely
laughter.
on its own.
So is Amazon doing anything about that?
They said they are putting a fix in there. Instead of saying Alexa laugh, they're getting rid of that and saying Alexa, can you laugh? And the thing will say yes, I can laugh. And
Try.
that. No, I'm done. They told me to wrap.
Nice. Well, how are you? There you go. Let's get back now to Rob. More on the Northeast here.
Check out some of these snow totals. Alexa may have a field day with this. Nearly 3 feet of snow in southern Vermont, just outside of New York City. Over 2 feet in New York City, just getting about 3. 5 now in Boston, and it's still coming down there. Time now for your sunniest cities, brought to you by CarMax.
Acronyms are fun. LOL, laugh out loud, BTW, by the way, and of course, WABC GMA. We'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
Hey, what if I wanted to sell my car?
WABC GMA.
WABC GMA?
We'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
WABC GMA.
WABC GMA.
WABC GMA.
WABC GMA. WABC GMA. WABC GMA.
No, we cool. I got you.
Okay. It's the right thing to do.
A cold start to our day, but it's dry and we do have some sunshine. Now later today we're going to pick up some clouds, wind as well, and with a little weak system could be even a sprinkle or a flurry coming our way for today. We're wind chilled tomorrow, our lowest wind chills in about a month. We'll start out in the teens and 20s and it'll feel like at best we're near 40 degrees. Meanwhile, the upcoming weekend, Saturday will be the day to get out, and don't forget we go back to daylight saving time, maybe tracking the system on Sunday, bringing us a little snow.
Coming up, the first interview with the new Bachelorette, Becca, her message for Ari after what's being called one of the most brutal TV breakups ever.
And that accused Oscar bandit now released from jail, facing charges for stealing. The mystery, though, growing this morning. How did he get into that exclusive party in the first place?